Well, here we are, live and in Technicolor. I'm just realizing how bright my pink is against the green. Welcome everyone. You are so welcome to this week's training where I'm going to share with you my daily non-negotiables for being more balanced and creating more money. Now, the reason that I've chosen this topic is because basically it's foundational to what I do in my coaching practice, whether it's my VIP private coaching or my Align and Prosperous program. People come to me because they are struggling to maintain balance while trying to run a business and make more money. And there's a myth out there in the land of real estate and finance that you just got to work so hard in order to, and actually all entrepreneurship, I think, that you've got to work harder to make more money. And I can tell you from experience, it's not true. I mean, I've done that route. It works, and it's not a lot of fun, and it's not sustainable. All right, well, we're just waiting for some people to show up, and I'm going to get started anyways. The 12 o'clock chime just went off here in Vancouver, letting me know it's time to start. And just want to wish you a happy summer solstice. Today is the longest day of the year, which means we have more time to take care of ourselves and make more money with our actions today. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to go to my notes. Oops, I don't have the right page open. Let's go find the right page for you. Here we go. And away we go. All right, ladies. Hello. If you're here, pop a comment in the chat. Let me know because I can't actually see who's watching me. So give me a thumbs up if you're here. Welcome to the Align and Prosperous training for this week, which is on your daily non-negotiables for being balanced and making more money in your business. My name is Deborah Stellingworth. I am a business strategist and mindset coach, and I am the founder of the Align and Prosperous Women's Network and also the Align and Prosperous coaching program. So let's get into the fun stuff of how you can be more balanced. I know that, let's just start with this. Being balanced is an inside job. I know this because I've chased balance for most of my life as well. And when I found it was when I went inwards. If you're struggling with I'll have more time to rest when, or I'll take care of myself better, or I'll exercise when I reach this certain goal or achieve this certain outcome or hit a certain date, I get it. I was there too. And really we need to start with a balance practice. And so I'm going to share with you my top tips for creating balance in your life. Again, it's an inside job. And so we've got to start with you and taking care of yourself in its entirety, completely taking care of yourself, putting on your oxygen mask first. You are the most important asset in your business. And if you're running on empty, that's going to impact how much money you're going to be making, or at least your ability to enjoy it. So I recommend starting your day with a morning routine, giving yourself some consistency. What we focus on grows in our business. We know that what we're consistent with gets us results. So we want to do the same in our life, in our mornings, and have a morning routine. Now, I have a rather lengthy morning routine. I'm not going to get into all the details of that here. I do talk about it on one of my podcasts, which at this moment I can't remember the name of it. But one of my podcast episodes, I do get into my morning routine. It's something about winning the day. And I'll post it in the comments after this recording is reposted. And you can have a listen to that if you're interested. But I started my routine with an acronym called SAVERS that I learned from the creator of Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod. And SAVERS is an acronym for silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. And before you get freaked out and want to just sign off this video, let me break it down for you. You can actually do a morning routine in like 6 minutes if you follow the Savers routine. But before I get into that, I want to just point out that your morning routine begins the night before with 2 really, really important steps. The first is where you put your phone before you go to bed. Okay, so whenever I start working with clients, one of the first things I ask them is, where's your phone? Where does it sleep at night? And if it sleeps beside you and your impulse is to reach for that first thing in the morning, then that phone's got to go outside of your room. My bedroom has been phone free for 7 years, and it's made a huge difference in my sense of wellness. It's made a big difference in my productivity and in my focus. So that's number 1 of taking care of yourself in your morning routine, is that phone out of the bedroom. You don't look at your phone until that's all taken care of. I actually have a start time for my phone. I don't look at it till 9 o'clock once I finished everything else. And you might go, but I'm busy. I'm like, there are no emergencies that, unless you're a doctor or some kind of medic, there's really on duty, there's nothing that's so urgent that you need to answer it before you take care of yourself. Okay, so, and I do 9 o'clock, you could do 8, whatever works for you. The other thing you want to do for your morning routine the night before is have a clear set bedtime. I know for myself that I need to be in bed between 10 and 11. I tend to stay up a little bit later in the summer. I am a total hibernator. I need way more sleep in the winter. I can stay up a little later in the summer. It's light out, and I'm just able to do that. But most of the time, 10 o'clock is my bedtime. Yes, there's exceptions. I do go out to play. But when I'm at home and I'm working, I want to make sure that I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. I might read for a while and lights off by 11, maybe go to bed 10:30, but somewhere between 10 and 11. So I know what works for me, and I'm paying attention to that. It's really easy to be random with your sleep patterns and then find yourself feeling really lazy and sluggish the next day and wondering why. So that's the first start, excuse me, of your morning routine. Once you've made sure you've gotten good sleep, you want to have a routine that includes all of these things in Savers. S is for scribing. So journaling. You might go, whoa, Deb, I'm not into journaling. Okay, so I have a workaround for you. And I did the same for years. I had an injury in my car accident on my collarbone here, and I couldn't do a lot of handwriting, so I actually couldn't do a lot of journaling. And so I just wrote 1 sentence a day. For a long time, it was asking myself some wonder questions. So I post a wonder question almost every Wednesday. We didn't get it out today. That was my bad. The wonder questions are something designed to spark your brain to get inspired. So for a long time, I wrote things like, am I willing to increase the flow of positive energy in my life? And then I would write, yes, with a bunch of exclamation marks and underlining. And that would be it. That would be my journaling. The affirmations is tied in there with the journaling. So you might say, I am available to earn and receive $10,000 to $20,000 a month. That might be your affirmation. It may be something else, but that's a great one if you're playing with making more money, is to give yourself that kind of affirmation. Now you might say, I am available for $1 million. And that will not work if you don't believe it. If you're not in a place where you're actually close to it, we want to work our way up to that. So if you're just getting started with your business, or just getting started with this idea of having consistency in your cash flow in your business, then start with a number that you actually you believe you can do it, and a little bit of a stretch. Okay, so I find a lot of people like to start with, I am available for $10,000 to $20,000 months on repeat. Okay, and then with the V is visualizing that. Visualize how you're gonna feel when you see that number in your bank account, or whatever other thing you're trying to create in your life you want to visualize. I'm going to use the number in the bank account as your example today. But if take a moment to visualize what it feels like and what it's like to see that bank account number where it says $20,000 this month and $20,000 next month, and it consistently showing up, that's how much you're bringing in each month. How's that going to feel for you? Okay. And then E, exercise, move your body. Okay. That's one of the most important things for a balanced self-care life, is to balance self-care life. That's a new phrase I just made up. For the self-care routine that creates a balanced life, that's better, is to move your body, right? As entrepreneurs, we spend so much time living in our heads, thinking of the things we have to do, thinking of the things we are doing, thinking of the things we're about to do, worrying about money and cash flow, worrying about whether we're going to get that next client, did we say the right thing? So when we move our bodies and we get into our bodies, we're actually, giving ourselves that break. And it's so, so important to do that. So move your body. I do yoga every morning, or Pilates, going for a walk in the afternoon. I like going to salsa classes. I just started that recently on Monday evenings. I go to salsa. It's super fun. And so it's fun. It takes me completely out of my head when I do all of those things. Okay, so that's exercise. And then there's reading. And remember, all of these you can do for 1 minute. So if you're not going to go to a salsa class, you're not going to do yoga for an hour, that's no problem. Move your body. Do some jumping jacks, do some stretching, whatever it is for you. Take 1 minute to move your body. One of my favorite things to do when I actually don't have time to do anything else, which is rare because I actually build in the time, and I have some arm movement things that I do every single morning. One of the things I love to do is the yoga move, knocking on heaven's door, where you're just like spinning your arms around and knocking here. And so you can try that for 1 minute. It really just gets things going, gets the blood flowing. And then reading is the next one. And maybe it's not reading for you. Maybe it's like listening to a podcast while you're brushing your teeth, putting your makeup on. Maybe it is reading and you just read a little bit each day. I found that you can really work together with the reading and the scribing by taking a quote from whatever you're reading or listening to and making that your scribing. Okay, write that down for yourself. And then finally, again, I screwed that up. The first one isn't scribing. The first one is actually silence, which is like meditation. So taking 1 minute to just breathe. And I've counted, it takes between 3 and 4 breaths to pass a minute. You can do that. So you could have a 6-minute morning routine that includes all of these resilience rituals that's going to set you up for success in your day. It's also going to move you towards a place of being more grounded. And when people tell me they want to be more balanced, what they're actually saying most of the time is that they want to feel more grounded. Because balance is a practice, it's not a state of being. Grounded is a state of being. Hey everyone, let me know if you're here. Give me a hi or a thumbs up in the chat so I know that you're here. Grounded people say they want to be more balanced. But I know what they're actually saying is they want to be more grounded. And this exercise, this routine, the morning routine of having the savers routine will help you to achieve that state of being grounded. Your balance, you're going to have to adjust throughout the day. So I like to think of it this way. So I was a dancer, and when I'm doing a pirouette, my balance is, hey there, Ondine. When I'm doing a pirouette, my balance is very different than when I'm doing, say, an arabesque, okay? And my balance has to shift throughout the day depending on what I'm doing. So when you think of it that way, you're going to have this like core strength for your balance. And I like to think of my morning rituals as building my mental muscle for balance, for being grounded. So no matter what the day throws at me, I'm not going to get knocked off balance because I'm grounded. Okay? So this is really key to you creating more balance in your life and being more balanced. The other thing you want to do is to continue to find ways to flex your PQ muscle. So your PQ muscle is your positive intelligence, and all the things I've shared with you so far are designed to help you create stronger right brain intelligence and access that. And anytime you're getting into your body doing that, whether it's breath work or meditation or yoga or any other psychosensory technique. I do a lot of tapping inside my program. I've got a few tapping videos and a few PQ session videos on my YouTube channel that you can check out. Those are all things to help you flex that right brain intelligence, which is what we need to bring online in order to stay grounded. Most of us live in our left brain all the time, and that's that place of rational and strategic and sort of get things done place. It makes us sometimes feel really anxious. I had a client yesterday tell me that she's feeling super anxious when she wakes up because she has a sense of dread about her to-do list. And that tells me that her left brain is leading the show because it's got her panicking about all the things that have to be done and aren't done yet. When we find some balance, there's that word again, between our right brain and our left brain, we can be more grounded. We want our left brain, we need it to be strategic, but we also want our right brain to be turned on so that we can feel grounded and creative and in a real place of problem solving. And it's doing some of the techniques that I share on my YouTube channel, as a tapping, some come to your senses exercises, things like that will help you to create that sense of feeling grounded. Okay, finally, there's two more things that are really important for you to keep balance in your life. One is to socialize. Make sure you're taking time to be with other people that are not, it's not just business talk all the time. Right? Get yourself out with other people who are going to distract you from your business. Really, you need that. And then find something that's going to help you to feel creative. For me, there's a couple things that help me feel creative. One is I do bullet journaling, and I really love that. I'm not doing a lot of the illustration right now because I'm finding other ways to be creative in things that I'm doing in my business. But I've got gardening. I've recently discovered gardening and how much that I love it and how much it brings me joy to just go out there and see how, I'm looking over here because it's right there outside my window is the deck, and the beautiful flowers on it, deadheading them and pulling off the dead flowers and watching them grow and watering them and watching the hummingbirds come around. I mean, it's giving me such pleasure to be in that creative way in the gardening and kind of, thinking, I want to move those around and plant them differently and putting the flowers together by color. It's one of the things that I am doing. So finding ways to take care of yourself in that way is allowing creativity that's not involved in your business. Because yes, while you get to be creative, because you're an entrepreneur, you get to be creative, and we're going to talk about that in a second as I shift over to making more money, is how you can be creative in your business. And it's really important to give yourself other opportunities for creativity, okay? All right, so the being balanced basically comes down to that. Your DNNs, your daily non-negotiables, should include things that require you to put your oxygen mask on first. Before you go take care of anybody else, that you take care of you. Now, inside the Align and Prosperous program, one of the things we do is I don't have a prescriptive morning routine. I have lots of suggestions, but I help each of my clients develop their own morning rituals and routines that work for them. And I get it. Some people struggle with having a routine. They actually prefer some spontaneity. The problem with that is that when we're spontaneous and we give into that entirely, then we're not consistent. And so what we do is we build in some consistency and some spontaneity for people who need that. Then there's others like me who just really like to have our routines. And I give myself the choices of things I'm going to do each morning as well, so we can build in those choices. But the container is there for you to have that time and space to put your oxygen mask on first, to take care of you first, build your resilience, build your mental fitness, and ground yourself so you're ready for the day. You're ready to go forth and prosper and make more money in your business. So let's talk about that part, okay? Most people who are watching this video, I guess you're watching it because you want to make more money. And that's great, because one of my goals is to support 1,000 women in creating aligned and prosperous lives. The aligned part, that's the balance. That's the taking care of you. What are your needs that need to be met? Prosperous, of course, is the money. And there's a few things that we need to take care of or handle or approach when we are wanting to make more money. Number one is to stay fearless. So often people say to me, well, when I have more confidence, I'll do that. Or when I have more experience, I'll do that. And we've got to just go for it. And yes, it does take some practice, showing up for yourself in that way and allowing yourself to take chances. But when you decide to stay fearless is when you can actually start making the moves that are going to help you to make more money. Because I find a lot of the times that when women come to me, men too, I work with men as well, but I work majority with women because, well, ladies, you're ready for the work most of the time. And some of the guys are too, but not all. Anyways, but when you're ready to be fearless, and often people come to me and they're like, well, but I'm afraid of this or I'm afraid of that. I had a conversation this week with someone who was working in corporate and was afraid that if she leaves her job, she won't make as much money. Okay. Now, because that's what she's focused on, that will be true. I spoke on this last week somewhere in one of my videos, or maybe I made a post on it, but your power resides in your ability to choose and act. So when we talk about gaining your power back and calling your power back, and I have a video about that, releasing what's not yours and calling back your power is just that. It's your power to choose and to act. So you can choose to buy into the misunderstanding that you can't make more money than you did at your job, or that making 6 figures or multiple 6 figures is for someone else, it's not for you. You can choose to believe that it's hard and you have to struggle and suffer in order to make that kind of money. Or you can choose to believe that you will never have a consistent income because you're an entrepreneur in the world of real estate or finance. And when you choose that will become your truth. And that's the law of attraction. Whatever we choose to focus on becomes our reality. So when we decide to be fearless and work at shifting our beliefs so that we can let ourselves know it's safe to make more money. Okay, so that's a key thing, right? Most of the fear that comes around we're not making money. We want to make more money, but we're afraid because we're afraid we might lose love. We're afraid other people might judge us. We're afraid we might not be able to manage it when we get the money. We're afraid that we don't know how to make the money. We're afraid that if we make the money, it's going to make us into not nice people. There's all these fears that we have, and we've got to handle that. It's one of the things we do inside the money mindset pillar inside the Aligned and Prosperous program is get into deprogramming that, removing those beliefs so that you can move forward and be fearless in your approach to making more money. So it starts with telling yourself, and let's go back to the journaling you were doing. You might tell yourself, it's safe for me to make more money. I am available for $10,000 to $20,000 months on repeat. Okay, or insert whatever number you want. I have a client right now who's like going to hit $1 million in her business this year. And she's telling herself, I am available for $100,000 months. I'm available for $1 million a year. And you might think just because she's at that, you're like, whoa, what is she afraid of if she's at that numbers? We all have to deal with our money story all the time, okay? And every time you go to a new level, you're going to have to address the fear you have of what it might mean to other people, what it might mean about you, what you feel, what you believe you might have to do in order to make more money. So in order to stay fearless, you need to first address the fears that you have. You can't simply pretend they're not there because they will be operating in the background, and that's the vibration you'll be at. Because you might say, I'm fearless, yay, superhero pose, but if at the core and at the root of things, you don't actually believe that it's safe for you to make more money, you won't be making more money, okay? All right, number 2 for making more money. Connect and create. I know there's 2 words there, but it's really this to the 2 C's. Connect and create. Ask yourself, Who can you be of service to today? Reach out and make authentic connections. One of the things that I offer to the women who join my Aligned and Prosperous Women's Facebook group is a 20-minute connection call with me. It's not a sales call. I have no interest in convincing people to coach with me. If you want to coach with me, you're welcome to reach out. I will share with you the video that explains about the Aligned and Prosperous group program. If it's a VIP one-on-one coaching you want, you can reach out and we'll have a conversation about that to see if we're a fit. I offer this 20-minute connection call simply because I want to know how I can be of service to the people inside my community. I want to also have real, honest, true connections and say, well, yeah, great, I've got several hundred people in this Facebook group, but I don't know half of them. And it's important to me to really know who I'm serving. And so I offer that. Could you do something similar in your community? Could you offer people a 20-minute connection call with you? Okay, would that be of service to the people that you're supporting or working with? Or it might just be an opportunity to reconnect. So if you're in real estate and finance, I know not everyone watching this is in real estate and finance. It just happens to be the two main groups that I coach. And the third is actually coaches and consultants, many who happen to be in those two fields. And the connection call might be useful to the people that you want to serve. Okay, and if it's not, we want to look at, well, how can you be of service to them? So connect with the people that you can help. Find ways to connect with them. Go to the places where they're hanging out. Okay, one of my clients is currently doing something where she's inviting groups of women to meet on a monthly basis in fun environments like dinner parties and hiking and other things like that. And she's just like doing what she loves to do, which is the activity she's doing, but also including people. And just with no agenda. It's not about getting clients, but it's about connecting with the people that she wants to serve and support. Okay. And so that's a great way to connect. Now, if that's not your thing, there are plenty of other ways. I'm not going to get into all of them here. It's one of the things that we figure out inside the Aligned and Prosperous program, and the mission pillar is like, what is your mission? How are you going to set about achieving your mission? And so the other thing you want to do besides that kind of authentic connections when you're thinking about making more money is really to create content that provides value. So I've noticed recently there's a lot of people posting sort of positive personal growth type messages, like, and which is really nice. Like, let's spread the positivity by all means. But I sometimes find it confusing when I see someone who is, a realtor or a marketing consultant in real estate, or a financial advisor, or an accountant, posting things like, I can't even think of an example right now, about having a positive mindset. Now, yes, this is important. Let's spread the positivity. And you want to be really strategic about when you do that. And if you do it too much, like there was one realtor I was following, kind of watching, she's not in this group. And I thought it was interesting that like almost every post was about some kind of personal growth thing. And it confused me because I was like, is she a coach or is she a realtor? What is she doing here? I'm not really sure. And I don't know, because maybe she is trying to transition to coaching from her real estate. But there was a lot of that. And it actually sends a bit of a mixed message. So you want to get really clear what your marketing plan is and connect on that. Yes, you want to give value. You want to make people feel good. And in a fear of feeling salesy, a lot of realtors will post things like that personal growth stuff and, feel good platitudes like, oh, I can give you an example. Life is meant to be fun and we are supposed to play. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so life is meant to be fun. There's a great example. Yes, it is meant to be fun. Awesome. And I'd love to see you connect something like that to a personal story where people get to know you better. Okay, I don't want to get too far into marketing stuff right now because that's not what we're exactly here for. But I just wanted to make the comment on that. It's like, have a really clear marketing plan that you stick to. One of my clients posts regularly, she's a realtor, she posts regularly about renovations because she happens to be a bit of an expert. She's renovated and completely overhauled a few houses herself and is good at it and loves to work with people who are shopping for home like makeover projects. Okay, so she posts that regularly because she wants to be seen as the expert in finding properties that are ideal for makeovers. Okay, so she's really kind of thought about what she's going to post and how that ties to what she's personally interested in and what she's interested in helping clients with. Okay, so something to keep in mind when you're creating content. Number 3, if you want to make more money, here it is. Get ready for this one. Write this one down. Create. Don't wait for opportunities. I see too many people waiting around for the phone to ring. And it's really necessary that you're going to have to create opportunities, which will mean that you're going to have to find a way that works for you. So when I was a realtor, I learned in post-licensing school that doing open houses was a good way to get clients. So I went and did some open houses and it didn't work. And so I stopped doing open houses, and then I was sitting around waiting for, I don't know, I was talking to people and going to networking events and meeting people, which is a great way actually to grow your network is networking events, as long as you're making sure you commit to it. Don't do what a lot of realtors and financial advisors do. They show up in a networking group, they don't get a client, and they never come back. If you want to create clients by networking, find a group that you really want to be a part of and stick with it for at least a year, better off 2 or 3. So make sure you're ready for that long-term commitment, because that's what networking is, the long game. And so that's one of the ways to create opportunities. But I'm going to come back to the open house in a minute. So as a realtor doing open houses, at first I thought that doesn't work. I'm not doing it anymore. And then I hired a coach who said to me, go do some open houses. But it doesn't work. He goes, write a recipe for success. And that recipe for success that I wrote that day has now evolved into a full-on lesson unit inside one of my realtor section of my coaching programs, where the script is so great. Like, if you came into my open house when I was a realtor and you didn't have a realtor, you were leaving as my client. Again, that was the story I was telling myself, and it often became true. And I created opportunities by being prepared for them. Another way you can create opportunities is to look around and go, what works in my industry to create clients? Notice I say create clients and not get clients. Okay, you're creating clients by developing relationships. If you're out in the world trying to get clients, you're going to feel like that's salesy and not aligned with who you are, because you don't want to be salesy. I know that because you wouldn't be watching this video if you were the type of person who didn't care about being salesy. So let's talk about creating, not getting clients. So when you're out there creating clients, it requires you to invest in the relationship and create opportunities for connecting with people who might be your ideal clients. And the networking is a long game, and so the relationship building can be a long game. I saw yesterday actually one of the rather well-known coaching companies for realtors in the world posted something yesterday about, what's working, cutting edge strategies, and what you need to know that works in today's market. Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to let you know a secret. What works in today's market is what has worked in any market, and that is building relationships. I want you today creating opportunities to meet with people that are going to turn into business for you 3 months down the road. I'm always telling my clients to remember, how are you creating your business for 3 months from now? Because you find yourself really, really busy with your current clients, and then you're not focused on creating future clients, and then you find yourself suddenly not busy, and that's where the cash flow ends up being inconsistent. We want to stay in the game of client creation at all times. And that means that you're creating, not waiting for opportunities. So And when you're creating, not waiting for opportunities, you're not waiting and making excuses till you feel more ready, until you feel more confident, until you have more experience, etc. You're getting out there and you're creating the opportunities, because action is what creates confidence. When you take the action, you do the experiment, it will create confidence. Even if it doesn't work out, you will still have learned something that's going to help you do better next time. Okay, whether it's a lead follow-up call that you maybe rushed it and it didn't go that well, there's always a chance to follow up, okay, and learn the language of sales leadership so that you can get better at converting people when you have those opportunities. Which brings me to my next point. So number 4, tip for making more money is to focus on, wow, I started talking really loud there. Sorry about that, because I'm getting excited about this one. So number 4 is to focus on continual growth and development in 2 areas. So I want you to every single day be asking yourself the question, how can I learn something new that is content-based for my industry? And sometimes just the nature of doing the business and being out there, you're going to learn something new, and you can just at the end of the day go, that's what I learned new today. But sometimes you're going to have to actually go look for it. You might go, wow, I need to know about that thing today because a client wants me to answer that question, or that's interesting to me. But learn something new about your industry every day. That's how you become an expert. And this next one, even more important, and is what I focus on in the messaging pillar of the Aligned and Prosperous program, is learn the skill of effective sales leadership communication. So inside the Aligned and Prosperous program, the messaging pillar is all about a feminine approach to sales leadership. And by feminine approach, I mean it's not convincing, it's not sleazy sales, it's really just coming from a place of true leadership and servant leadership at that, where you're showing up in service to your clients by asking them the tough questions, by getting really super curious about them. When I first became a realtor and I'd left teaching and I went into the world of entrepreneurship, and I knew immediately, I realized, wow, I'm in a new land and I do not speak this language. Now, because I have a master's degree in rhetorical studies, which is and literature, which is the study of the persuasive use of language, and I taught high school English for 15 years, which also is the study of the persuasive use of language, I was really aware, and I made a point of learning the language of sales leadership. And now, because I'm a teacher, the natural outcome was that I wanted to teach other people what I discovered, and that's what I do now inside my coaching program and inside the Aligned and Prosperous program. So when you are dealing with a client or a lead or a potential client, I prefer to call them potential clients than leads, but some habits die hard. But when you're dealing with people, it's really important that you know the words to use to guide them, first of all, into an appointment with you where you can then get curious and show them how you can support them. And then when you have created them into a client, they've become a client, you've created a client now, you want to be able to use the language in a way that's really going to serve them in making decisions in their best interest. So learning a little bit each day about the language of sales leadership is going to go a long way to you making more money and closing more deals. Okay. And this is true whether you're new to your industry or you've been doing it for 20 years. I shared last week in my training that one of my clients, 20 years in the business, caught herself that she held back and didn't ask the questions that would have encouraged her clients to move forward because she didn't want to feel pushy. And the result was they didn't buy that property. And they'll buy another one, it's fine, it'll all work out. And they really wanted that one. And, and maybe they wouldn't have bought it. But the thing was that she now looks at that situation going, I could have said something different that would have given them more support in making their decision from a place of being informed and from a place of real confidence rather than a place of fear. And So, it doesn't matter where you're at. This is ongoing. Just like if you're an English speaker or any language for that matter, but I'm speaking in English, so I'm going to use English as an example. Throughout your life, you're learning new words. Our language is an organic entity that changes all the time. And we get new vocabulary all the time. Like Facebook is a word that didn't exist 20 something years ago, right? And it exists now. Mouse used to mean something different than it means for most of us today, right? Touchpad, you all know what I'm talking about. Those are all new phrases. And the key for you is to be aware that no matter how long you've been in your business, there's an opportunity to learn to be more effective with your language. That means you're always in language acquisitions stage. My grandson is 3 right now, and 3.5. And every week I see him, and every week there's like this, I would love to do an MRI on him and see what's happening to his brain every week, because there's just this explosion of language every week. And it's natural that phase there's an explosion of language, but we don't ever stop learning language. Well, I guess you can, but if you come at your business from the approach that you can always learn language in a more effective way for your sales and for your marketing, then you're going to be able to make more money, guaranteed. Okay, because that made all the difference for me. Once I learned the language of sales leadership, I was able to shift from doing like 2 deals in my first 6 months to 15 in my second 6 months. And that had nothing to do with the market, because it wasn't a strong market at the time. Okay, so it had everything to do with me creating scripts and learning the language. All right, let's moving on. So continual growth and development. And the last one, not the last one, there's 2 more. Stay in your zone. If you're spending time doing things that are not in your zone of genius, like, I don't know, your own taxes when you're not a tax accountant, that would be an example for me, right? Not that I do my own taxes, because that's a terrible idea. But if you're spending time doing things that somebody else could be doing that's actually more their strength than yours, you're taking yourself out of your business and you are not making more money. Period. Full stop. That's it. You are wasting your time that could be prime money making hours when you're doing things that somebody else could do better than you. Many of my clients are high performers. I tend to work with a lot of high performers, and a lot of them, I recommend to them that they get a personal assistant. Someone who will do the things like one of my clients, he had his personal assistant research car detailing companies to come to his house, wash and clean and detail his car. And it was something he was going to do himself. It was on his to-do list. And he's like, because he came to me and it's always a constant readjusting, right? Like that's what balance is readjusting your schedule all the time. And he had all these personal items he needed to do. And he's feeling like, I just don't have time to do this. I'm so busy in my business. I'm like, you shouldn't be doing those anyways. $1 million decision for that client was to not be doing the tasks that someone else could do for him. Like she researched, found him 3 companies, and then he picked the one he wanted. And actually, I'm not sure if he picked it. She might have picked it. And then they came to his house, they detailed his car, and that was done and taken care of. Okay, so stay in your zone. If you're really good at, and you should be if you're in your business, client facing and lead facing prospective client activities, then that's where you should be focusing your time. You shouldn't be focusing it on doing Canva. I know there's some of my realtor clients who, they say to me, but I love making my own brochures. I'm like, great. Just because you love it doesn't mean you should be doing it. If you want to make more money, hanging out in Canva, making your own brochures is not the place to do that. Okay, so it's going to be about delegating and outsourcing and you staying in your zone. All right, are you ready for the last one? So I'm going to just recap what we've talked about so far. We did the balance section, how to stay more balanced. Take care of yourself, your oxygen mask first. In making more money, the key to making more money is to stay fearless, get those fears handled, and let yourself know it's safe for you to make more money. So it's a good idea to check in on what are your underlying beliefs? Because if you're not making more money, chances are you have a belief that it's not safe to do so. Connect and create. Connect with people, create valuable content, create a marketing plan that works for you. Create opportunities. Don't wait for them to happen. And focus on continual growth in your content area and in your skills. And then stay in your zone. And finally, if you want to make more money, make money matter. Pay attention to your money. So many people that I speak to when they first come to me and I say, how much money do you want to make? And they're like, I don't know what's possible. Okay, I never want to start from a place of what's possible. Anything is possible. If someone else can make $1 million and my client can make $1 million, I can make $1 million, it means it's possible for you and me and everyone. Okay? So let's not start with, I don't know what's possible. And I get it. I did that. Like my first mentor said to me, well, how much money, how many deals do you think you want to do? I'm like, I don't know what's possible. And so if I had stated, I don't know what's possible, I might have ended up with 2 deals that year. But because he encouraged me to say, well, how many do you think you want to do? Pick a number, just any number, and then go for it. I picked 12. Obviously, I surpassed that. But when I picked the number 12, it gave me something to aim for. And so we want to get really clear on what it is we're wanting to create. Now, I've since got way more detailed and nuanced with my goal setting around money specifically. Like, make the money matter. And don't feel bad about this. People say to me, I'm not in it for the money. I'm like, bullshit. Of course you're in it for the money. You need to house yourself. You need to clothe yourself. You need to feed yourself. So yes, you are in it for the money. Is it only about the money? Probably not. Shouldn't be, I don't think, because if you're in your zone of genius and working from a place of alignment and values, you can have both. Okay? So watch yourself. You're saying, but it's not about the money, because it is about the money. We want to make money matter. All right. So be clear on how much you need to run your life. Like, what does it actually cost every month for you to run your life? And how much money do you need to bring in so that after taxes, you have enough to run your life? Know those numbers. If you don't know those numbers, that's a great place to start today. The second number you need to know is, how much does it cost to run your business? Too many people that I meet have no idea what it costs to run their business. I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and in that conversation, she knew already actually. She doesn't know what it's cost to run her business, but she knows that she's got a really expensive hobby because it's costing her more to run her business than she's making running her business. We want to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Okay. And so you need to be really clear on what it costs to run your business. So you take what it costs to run your life, what it costs to run your business, the taxes before taxes, right? And then that's the amount you need each month. So let's just say it's $10,000 to $20,000 months. So we're back to the beginning again, right? Visualizing and affirming yourself that it's safe for you to receive $10,000 to $20,000 a month on repeat, consistently every month, okay? Until you're ready for more. And once you're clear on those numbers, then you can start getting clear on, well, what do you want above and beyond what it costs to run your life and what it costs to run your business? What would be great? And then you put a dollar figure on that, and then you can decide how much money you want to make, and then you can figure out, is $10,000 to $20,000 consistently every month enough for you? Okay, is that what you want? Some of you might be going, well, enough, what are you talking about? It's amazing. I live in Vancouver. I was a Vancouver realtor. It costs a lot to live and work in this city. And so you need to get really clear on what that costs you to live and work here so that you can, and then the cost of your dreams. The next thing in making money matter is to review and restate your goals daily. Okay, so I bullet journal, as I mentioned. I don't have it here to show you, but every week, I write at the beginning of the week, I write my focus for the week and I write my goals, and I write them over and over and over again. And so I write my dollar figure goal for the year and for the month every single week. I also go over that in the morning in my journal and in the evening in my journal and in my affirmations for how the day's going to go, how the year's going to go. As I'm visualizing the year, I'm visualizing the month, and I'm telling myself the number that I want to create. Okay, so you might say something like this, and I tap to this, like, I am available for $10,000 to $20,000 months on repeat, okay, or whatever your number happens to be, okay. And I also put my yearly total as well, okay. I'm available for that. I'm learning and understanding more and more what it is to be a vibrational match for those things, and allowing myself to know that it's safe for me to have $10,000 to $20,000 months on repeat, okay, or whatever your number is. It's not my number, but okay. And review and restate those goals daily. And then finally, in the money matters section, track and celebrate your money when it comes in. I do a happy dance anytime I get paid. I didn't used to do this. I used to get paid and go, oh my God, that's not enough. Okay, it feels like a lot. I'm about to get a $10,000 commission check or a $20,000 commission check. And then it would come in and I'd go, okay, now I have to pay the visa off, and now I have to pay this off, and I got to put this amount away for taxes, because that was something that I was always good at. I was never scrambling for taxes because I got really good advice early in my career. Tax money is not your money. Don't spend it. Put it aside. Okay. One of the things we do in the money section in that Line and Prosperous is get that all sorted out so you never have to worry about paying your taxes again, because you'll just have the money for it. You'll never have to scramble for it. And but what I used to do is I'd get it and I'd feel right away, oh God, that's not enough. Okay, I've got this now. What's next? I actually take the time now to do a little happy dance. Thank you, money. Thank you for coming to me. And just feeling like a yes, because I want to show gratitude for what I've received and what I've created and acknowledge myself. It's celebrating me and the work I've done, and it's affirming the truth that people want to pay me for the services that I provide. And when I celebrate that, I'm celebrating myself and my accomplishments, but I'm also associating positive feelings and thoughts with receiving more money, which helps to keep those fears that it's not safe for me to receive more money, because I have them too, at bay. All right, and then I also track it. So daily I receive it, I celebrate it, I track it, so I know exactly what I have, what's in each of my tax account, my investment account, my business expense account, and my personal account where I pay my payroll from. Okay, so track it, celebrate it. That's it for making money matter. All right, we've been here for a while and we are out of time. This one was a little bit longer than my usual trainings. Thank you for staying with me at the end. Please let me know in the chat, or if you're watching a replay, do #replay and let me know your takeaways. But let me know your key takeaway, something you either want to implement or was an aha moment for you in the training today, where I talked about balance, how to be more balanced, and how to make more money. Of course, we get into more specific strategies for you inside my Aligned and Prosperous program. And if you want to hear more about that program, you can do two things, okay? My signature program is Aligned and Prosperous, as I mentioned. And if you want to hear more about that business and personal mentorship program for women in real estate and finance, helping you to create more freedom, wealth, and impact. You want to know more about that? Just message me. You can either DM me or you can shoot me an email if you've got my email address. Ideally a DM on Facebook, where you're watching this probably. Send me a DM and let me know that you would like, you just put the phrase more aligned, please. And I will send you the introductory video for the Aligned and Prosperous program that will let you know everything that is included in the program and what you need to know about it to see if it's a right fit for you. And once you've watched that video, if it is a right fit for you, we can get on a call and I'll answer any questions you have. And you might watch that video and go, that sounds really good, and I'm much more interested in one-on-one coaching. We can chat about that as well. I will have one spot opening up in July for a one-on-one client. So if that sounds like something that you're wanting to explore, let's get on a call and chat about that. So again, if you want to watch the Aligned and Prosperous program introductory video, just pop more aligned in the chat here, in the messages, or in a DM to me, and I will get that right over to you. All right, so let me know your takeaways, and I send you back out into the world with this wish for you, that you will choose to put your oxygen mask on first, because you are the most valuable, important thing in your business. And when you do that, you make yourself available for making more money. So go forth, be aligned, be prosperous, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.